see. So we did YouTube, X, Instagram, and LinkedIn. For Instagram, I need to do a thing to do to make it actually work. Actually, I think we can skip Instagram. We don't need Instagram.
I think Instagram is better for like shorts rather than
Yeah,
showing.
yeah.
Yeah,
So it's a bit because the comments don't come in directly. It's a bit difficult for Instagram to go live there. So we'll figure it out some other time. So for now, we have YouTube, X, LinkedIn, and Facebook.
yeah,
Okay, so if anyone is watching, we just are doing a live recording of the second episode podcast of the Rafid Hoda podcast. We already did one last week,
yep, yep.
and we are going to try to do one of these every Monday. And so the goal is for the end of this year to have like 50 of these. And from from uh, from them we have from the videos we will have like reels and stuff like that that we can post. Topic, I'll add a little thing before we start so people know what this is about. Topic for today, how to get through tough times. There we go. So we're going to start in just a couple of minutes. We're going to let people come in if there's anyone watching. And the topic for today is how to get through tough times, which I think we've all faced multiple times in our lives.
Yeah,
And tough times can be tough times can be that you just lost your dad suddenly because he had a heart attack or something, or it could be you're a super rich 17-year-old and you didn't get the Ferrari that you were hoping for uh, at on your birthday, and all of your friends got super fancy cars, and now you're super sad about it. It's kind of a joke, but tough times can be whatever it is for all of us. It can be different. Um, yeah. So I faced tough times. Div, you faced tough times. I'm sure everyone has faced tough times. So we're going to just talk about those because after a while, as you get older, you learn to kind of manage them better. You learn to expect them, and you don't let yourself be destroyed by them every single time it happens, because the the fact is that life is full of tough times. Sometimes it feels like that's all it is. And if you every time feel like um, if you every time feel like you're getting completely destroyed and the whole week or month or year goes to waste and you can't do anything, um, it's very hard to live that way because the frequency of these tough times get much higher as you grow older, and you have to learn how to still keep living and still keep enjoying the good things in life even though life is hard. So over time I've learned some things that I want to share, and I'm sure you also learned some things, Div. Maybe you also, even though you're much younger man than me. So yeah, we're gonna go through that today, and maybe we can share some personal tough times. It always helps to hear from other people that they have also gone through the same things. It makes you feel less alone. What do you think, Div? Does it help you, like when you watch a reel by someone and they are talking about the same thing that you're going through?
yeah. I mean, I always relate it with my life. That's how these reels are made. But I really like listening to reels where people tell about their efforts that they did in their tough times and that led them to wherever they are now. So. I mean, before and after effect is real. Mostly, I think that if you are having a tough time, you need to address it and like be grateful of things that you already have. And if you are grateful with things that you already have, it will really help in going through that tough time and move forward with whatever you have and building on top of that.
Yes, absolutely. So let's fix up a little something here. I think this is good. Yeah. So it's a bit hard for us to see how many people are watching because apparently we only are seeing Facebook numbers. But normally there are a couple of people watching. So we're going to start now. And as we are going on, if you have any questions, please use the comment feature wherever you are watching to ask questions or add your comments or whatever it is. And yeah, so the way that we want to do these is that we want to kind of make it so that we're not talking about one big thing for like 40 minutes, but it's like we're talking about a big thing, but in smaller chunks, so that we can also kind of clip it out and put it on Instagram for people to listen. Uh, like a minute long video that we're all programmed by the social media overlords to be consuming content in that way. Okay, so let's begin. This is the second episode of the Rafid Hoda podcast, and the topic for today is how to get through tough times. I'm sure all of us have had tough times. That's one thing I know for sure, is all of us have gone through it, and at all ages. And there are some things that you learn over time on how to manage these. And so today I'm going to share some of my very tough times in my life. David's going to do the same, and some of the things that we have learned along the way to make it easier to go through these and not completely freak out and think our life is over every single time they happen. Okay, so I'm going to ask you, Div, is there a tough time that you have gone through already? Maybe you're going through right now that you are willing to share with everyone.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of tough times that I have gone through in the past as well. I'm quite young, younger than you, so I might have not experienced that much of tough times, but I do have experienced some of them. Some of them being like canceling of contracts, like finding new jobs, things like that. So, I mean, like one of the things when I used to talk with you previously on chats, you used to refer me this book, that is Man's Search for Meaning. So, I mean, I read this book. I wasn't able to read it through, but I also got to know about tough times that this man faced. And when I knew about that, I mean, my tough times was nothing compared to his tough times, because he was like searching for meaning when he was in a like prison, in a camp, concentration camp that was being held, and he was like literally fighting for his life. And like most people died during those in one of those concentration camps, because they didn't had a meaning, or they didn't knew why they had to live. And he knew that he is having a loving wife and he has to care for her. So in search of that, he was able to survive that concentration camp that happened in the Nazis era. So what I'll say is that, I mean, right now, I can't like totally tell you what I'm facing right now, that because that's too personal.
Hmm.
But what I can share is like in the past when I didn't had a job, like when I was in college, and I was seeing that my friends are having jobs and they are like living their life and things like that. I thought that I need to also get a job. So like that was my tough time when I was, I think, 18-year-old,
Hmm.
trying to learn to code. Daily I was building projects, and I used to like create a project and ship it during the week, and then create a video on it, and then used to upload it on our YouTube and all the different platforms. That was my tough time, but I got through that, and I was able to explore new things, and new things came along, and that was my part of the story. But yeah,
Hmm.
Rafit, if you want to share some of your tough times, then definitely would love to hear that.
Yeah. So I'm going to go back 20 years actually. I'm 34 right now. And there was, I would say, the first really tough time in my life was at around 14 years old when, for some reason, I started losing a lot of hair. I don't know what it was. I thought that it was like a family genetic thing because on my father's side, men lose hair, not on my mother's side. But at 14, I thought it was a little early to start losing hair, but I was losing a lot of hair. And I was like, what is happening right now? Like, this is not good. And it was because, as you can imagine, as a 14-year-old, it's really important, you know? It's one of the things that you have that you don't want to lose. And so that was my first tough time. And it was really hard. I tried to hide it by wearing this cap all the time, and I knew that kids in my class kind of knew something was going on, and it was all this weird thing. I was so stressed out about it, and I even did this calculation. I because I'm this like math guy, so I went like, oh my god, I'm losing so much hair. So I'll estimate that I'm losing this much hair every day. So if I keep losing this, when will I look completely bald? you know and I at 14, I calculated that around 21 or something I'm going to look completely bald. And I got so depressed about that. I was like, oh my god, what am I going to do? Like, can I do like a hair transplant? Can I do this and that? Turns out, looking back, I mean, I still have quite a lot of my hair left,
Yeah, you do
20
have
years.
hairs.
So it must have been something related to stress or something like that. I don't really know. But it's much better now, and it's not really the same kind of problem. But I remember it was a huge problem back then, and it was an everyday type of thing. I was thinking about it constantly. I got obsessed by it. So that was my first tough time that I remember.
I mean, that tough time is going with me. I am kind of losing my hair, so
Yeah.
kind of related. I think it's majorly because of stress. Because in my family line, no one is bald. So
Mhm.
I thought that why is it happening to me? Then
Mhm.
I realized that I'm taking too much stress. That's
Yeah.
why it might be happening. I don't know about it yet, but I'm starting to like do some hair care in order
Yeah.
to save them
Yeah.
from getting, yeah.
Exactly. So that's actually a big thing for a lot of men and some women too. Hair loss is something that a lot of men go through in their lives, and it's always a really difficult experience because you have this thing and you're losing it, and you know that after some time you're going to lose all of it. And it's just like it doesn't happen like this; it happens slowly, and it's just you have
And
to
it's painful.
you try to
Yeah.
hide it, you try to do something with it, like operations or something. So yeah, it's a difficult thing to go through. Even though some people think, oh, it's just hair, but it's not just hair. It's like it's a big part of how you look.
Most people wear caps in order to hide these things
Yeah.
because they are really facing the or get bald.
Mm.
That's
Yeah.
how some of my friends do. Like
Yeah.
they are seeing the bad things that are happening to their hair, so they like didn't had any hair, so they went whole bald.
Yeah. Mm.
Talking of which, I remember an incident of my school days
Okay.
that when I faced really tough time. It was when I was really a fat kid throughout my school because like I was really fat when I was in my school. So I can imagine that because of the peer pressure and things like that. Because I was not good in any athletics, or whenever I used to run, I used to get like tired easily because of that weight. So that was really tough time because when I came out of school, graduated, passed out of that school, then I came to college. Then I made this decision that I will lose weight. So I lost around 15 to 18 kgs when I was like in my college. So I think that tough time like was I took it as a challenge that hey, I was fat kid when I was in school, but I will not be fat and unhealthy throughout my
Mm.
college. So started going to gym and lost a lot of weight. Now I'm thinking that I'm in a much better shape. So
That's awesome.
that was one of the toughest time
Is
back
there
then.
is there anything that you would tell yourself back then knowing now, so it would be easier for you to hold manage. And obviously, losing the weight is just getting rid of the thing. But I mean, is there something that you could tell that person, so
Yeah,
it would be easier
definitely.
to be in that state still? Because I think that's the reality for a lot of us. I mean, I have extra weight that I'm trying to lose now. So is there any? I have some thoughts on this too,
Yeah,
but what are your?
I will say to my younger self that please go and play outside,
Mm,
even if your mom and dad is saying don't go outside. So I
mm,
mean, I think it's also because where I was living there was no kids nearby,
mm,
and there was no environment in which I can go safely.
mm-hmm,
So things like that was, of course, an
uh,
issue back then. That's why I was just sitting at home just eating and going to school.
mm,
And that my school was also really far from my place. It was
mhm.
around, it took me around an hour to reach the school, and
Wow.
then an hour to come back from school because I
Mm,
was not living close to that school area, and
mm,
that school was quite good in terms of academics. That's why my mom and dad like like put me in that school. So I mean, but it was really something that I could tell, and like please like, don't eat oily food,
mm,
oily Indian food.
yeah,
That's what I'll say um, to my younger self.
yeah. I'll give a little different kind of advice to this. Whether you are losing your hair or you are overweight, or there's something very physical about you that you want to change, or maybe you can't change. Um, I remember I was so self conscious about it that I would just never want to talk about it, or I wouldn't want other people to talk about it. I would get so self conscious and so inside my own shell. And that just made everyone super weird. So now what I do, like I'm extra, I'm a good amount of kilograms extra that I need to lose. I mean, I'm not that fat, but still, So now I just make fun of myself for being fat. So
That's
I'll
the
just
best way
poke,
to deal with it.
yeah, I'll just poke fun at myself. That yeah, it can be anything really. But this, as soon as you poke fun at yourself, what happens is that you're the first person who gets to control the narrative, and immediately you say something, so the other person who was going to make fun of you go, oh, okay, he made it himself, so it's not going to work because he's cool about it. And what that does is that it allows other people to just be chill about it too, because you've given them the permission. Whether you're short, whether you're really short or really tall, anything that's very physical that everyone can see, just make a joke about it yourself. That's a great strategy that I found. But that
I
also means
think
that you have to
I
get
think that's the
comfortable.
best strategy. No one will be able to answer anything when you say that. When you're him yourself making fun of you,
Yeah.
then how can another other person make fun of you?
Yeah.
So I think that's the best approach.
Yeah, so this goes for like being too tall, a very not too tall. I mean, very tall or very short, or having very dark skin or very light skin, or
Yeah.
colored eyes, or hair loss, or fat, or super thin. So I think that makes it much easier. Okay, so now I want to go a little bit later in my life, and this is like maybe the toughest time in my life. One of them. I've had a couple of these, but when I was around 16, 17-year old, I was in high school, just starting high school. I started experiencing depression for the first time. And what happened was that I was a quote unquote normal, studious kid who used to study and get the best grades and do everything on time. And then I suddenly went to this person who was not even showing up at school and not even studying, not even caring about the exams, and just all the time thinking that I'm the most horrible person ever. I don't deserve to live. I'm really stupid. I should just die. Later on, I understood that this was nothing to do with me. This is what deep depression does to you. But that is the first experience of depression I had that just made the next like 10, 15 years of my life super, super difficult. And that is something that I want to talk about today. because I know depression is something that we all basically experience at least once in our lives, or we have closed, like, loved ones or friends that also experience that. And so this is important for all of us to kind of know about, because chances are that you're going to go through it if you haven't already. Have you had any experience with depression, Div?
I mean, I usually didn't know what depression is when, when I was in school, because these things are never told in India that is actually happening, or you are experiencing that. But
Mm,
I can say that when I was in school and when I was fat, that time I was because I was kind of a shy guy. I didn't had many friends. I just had one friend and not that much friends. So I didn't had much interactions with a lot of people in school. I used to just like be with myself, and I was kind of an introvert kid.
mm,
So like I think that time I was experiencing depression
mm,
because I was feeling bad about myself because of being fat, and I really didn't had anyone besides my mom. Of course, she
yeah,
used to like talk with me, but mostly that's what was my state, and I think that's that time I might be experiencing depression. And even when I got into college, because in like if you are in India and you chose PCM, that is, you chose maths as a subject, you'll have to give an exam, that is JEE. And because I was not able to qualify that exam, and I went to this normal university that no one knew, uh, that time I was experiencing depression in my freshman year.
yeah,
And I thought that where I have came, that this place, I don't belong to this place, because I did, I studied like crazy, 10 12 hours a day, and still I wasn't able to like achieve the college that I really wanted to go, that was IIT. So I think that
yeah,
was also a thing that I was facing. That was a depression, I would say, in my
yeah.
freshman year. Yeah.
Maybe you should have studied 3 hours before the exam.
Yeah.
I'm
I
joking with
mean,
you. Yeah, yeah. No, I'm joking. That's really difficult too, with the, like, university entrance exams,
and
because
and then when I like came to this college, I
mm,
don't like I was not in Delhi. Specifically, I was born and brought up in Lucknow.
hmm,
So like when I came to this place from my like older place, like my hometown, I went to few relatives that you all have in
mm,
India, and like of course they were not happy. Like they were no happy because this kid was smart. He should have
yeah.
gotten IIT, but he didn't got it. So
He
I mean they were not telling me, but of
Yeah,
course I saw that
of course.
saw that.
He should have gotten into a college that only accepts 0.2% of, like, the 100,000 people that apply for the exam. He should have obviously gotten into that, 0.2% acceptance rate, the hardest in the world. Of course, you should have
Yeah.
gotten into that.
I
uh,
mean, maybe
yeah.
I didn't study it consistently.
No, no,
That's what
no. I'm joking, obviously,
no,
because
I
it's
mean that's
absurd.
what I think.
It's
That I
absurd.
didn't study it consistently. That's why I wasn't able to get in
Yeah, but do you
to that.
realize how difficult the exam is if only 0.2% of the people are let in?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know that, but I still feel that I should
yeah,
have done it
yeah. I
consistently
mean,
in order
to
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 crack that
compare
exam.
to compare, Harvard University, that is considered the best in the world, accepts about 5-6% of applicants versus
Yeah.
0.2. So, you know,
I mean,
uh,
yeah.
so yeah, that's a really tough one. I've also experienced that, not getting into the university that you wanted to go to. Um,
I
let
mean, I think University of Waterloo is itself a league that
Yeah,
most
but
people want to go.
I also applied to some other ones that, and some of them I got accepted into, but, like, for example, Oxford University is one of the ones that I applied to, and I got a very high fever right the day before the exam, the entrance exam for it.
Oh,
So I was doing the entrance exam, past papers, and I was getting a score higher than the what they used to let in people for. But that night I got a super high fever, didn't sleep at all, so I bombed the exam and I didn't get farther than that. So It was like, but it's not like IIT level, like important. But yeah, it was difficult. Let's go a little bit back to depression, because I know depression is the one thing that a lot of people are wondering about. If you're watching this, let me share with you, um, what is depression. Are you in a depression or not? And before I say this, I'm not a licensed psychologist, obviously, so please do your own research. But from my own personal experience, this is what tells me that I am in a depression. Imagine going out and there being sun everywhere and everything is normal. You go out and everything's great. Imagine rain starting to come down. And imagine there's lightning and thunder. Do you want to go out when it's like that?
No,
No. That is depression. Do you control that? Do you control the
no.
weather? No. That's your brain chemistry. So that means you are constantly thinking, whereas you weren't even thinking about this before. You were thinking, my friends don't like me. They don't want to hang out with me. Obviously, because I'm XYZ. My parents, I'm such a burden to my parents. Blah, 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 blah. I'm not smart enough to be in this school. I'm bad. I'm bad. I'm bad. I'm not enough. I'm not a. Constantly, constantly, constantly. So then people go, well, you should go out and you should exercise and you should do all those things. Yes, of course you should do. But is it harder to do it when it's a snowstorm outside? Oh, yeah.
I
So
mean,
that's how
you
it is.
you can't even do that in India because of pollution.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, but it's outside of your control. So what
yeah,
you
of
have to
course.
do is you have to wear clothes and you have to get an umbrella and you still have to go out. But you tell yourself you go out for 15 minutes, not 2 hours. But the problem with depression is, and this is how you know that you have depression, is if normally you were not thinking about these things and suddenly you are for weeks, it has to happen for at least weeks for it to be classified as depression, then maybe you are in a depression. If you're constantly thinking that you're the world's worst person and you don't deserve to live, then you have a deeper depression. If you're thinking that the solution to all of my problems would be me offing myself, ending my own life, then it's definitely depression, because normal, healthy people do not think like that. For years and years and years in my life, 7 to 10 years, this was my reality. Every single day, thinking about ending my life many, many times a day, always being in that state. So that's depression. And if you are
But
there
don't
and
you
you're,
think, Rafet,
yeah,
sorry to cut you off,
no
but
worries.
don't you think that it's because of the environment that you were in?
Partly, but not mainly. No. It's because of a brain chemistry thing that's happening that's outside of your control. That's largely genetic. I,
Okay,
I
so
have
it's
this in my
genetic.
family. Yes, I have this in my family. So
Okay.
not everyone gets this, but some people get a really bad version of it. I happen to be one of those people. Uh, so for the first several years, I had no idea that this was happening. And let me tell you again, if you have depression and you're going through life and you don't know, these are some things that might be happening to you. What was happening to me was that I was in university, and some one semester I was doing fine. I was passing my subjects, able to go to lectures, give the exams, get good grades. Suddenly, I'm failing everything. Suddenly, I'm back. Suddenly, I'm failing everything. No, none of my friends were going through the same thing. So I went, why is this happening? Why am I sometimes able to go to lectures, understand what the person is saying, and then get good marks, like 80, 90, sometimes 100, and then suddenly during the when the exam is happening, I'm laying on my bed and not even able to go outside of my room for 1 week straight, and barely eating and losing a lot of weight. Why is this happening? Because this is not normal. And this is, again, if you're watching this is important. If you're going through something similar, if you used to be normal and now you're not normal, you're completely different, then something is wrong. And it's not your fault in most cases, because who wants to be like that? Who wants to just be in bed all day and not be able to do anything? Is there anyone who willingly wants to be in that state? No, not me at least. But
Neither me. So yeah.
yeah. So, but this is really difficult because in certain parts of the world, also, everyone's going to tell you that you're just being lazy. I was told that you were just being lazy, or you just need to do this, or you just need to go out and exercise. That's it. And that I'm trying to tell you now that that will not help. I know there are people that say that exercise will solve everything. It won't. It will make it better, but it won't actually solve the root problem. So that is, you know, uh, a little bit like what depression is, and that causes a lot of bad times, or tough times rather, or it can make tough times even tougher when you have that. Mm.
Do you want to recommend some books to our
Um,
viewers
I don't know if
on it?
I'll recommend books, but I want to ask you actually, because you're in that age where a lot of people actually start experiencing depression. It happens often in the early 20s, late teens.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, what is the general consensus of what depression is? Does it even exist in India right now?
No, it doesn't even exist in India right now.
Doesn't
Only
exist.
people who can afford like a therapist, and it of course costs a lot of money.
Mm,
And people in India, because of their purchase parity, they can't really afford that. And like students of my age, when they go to college, they have this mentality that after college they have to start earning in order to
mm,
like provide something, some value in
yeah.
terms of money to the family. So I think these things are still new in India. No one, people, some people are talking about it, but it's still not relevant because, like, that things only exist when you are actually rich or like in a pretty good state. Most of the people in India are right now just fighting for like food. Like they should be able to get a food after like the whole day. That's why people that are like labor class in India are just like bothered about whether they can be like they can cook some food or not. So I
Mm,
mean that's what is I think majority 80% of people in India. That's what I have seen.
yeah.
So because of seeing that side, I feel myself as grateful that I'm able to like actually study in a university
Hmm.
and be able to get a degree, bachelor degree really soon.
Yeah.
So like these things I think are more common in the Western or European side, like
Mm,
where you are present. People people still in here are just fighting for basic needs. I think there is a
yeah.
what I say. There is this triangle of
Hmm.
things. What it is called, if you know that these are some levels. If you are able to fulfill
Yeah.
this level, then you
Maslow's
go to
hierarchy.
yeah. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Maslow's hierarchy. So
Mm,
like so people are still in that the
yeah.
like lower side
That makes sense.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Um,
Maslow's hierarchy is the
mhm.
things. If you are in the top, then you think of that
Yeah.
side. Yeah.
Yeah. Dominance, him on YouTube is asking, did you recover, Rafid? I guess I went pretty dark, I guess, a little bit of talking about my depression. Yes, I absolutely did recover. And I'll talk about it very soon, about when we get to how to actually manage this stuff, because I feel like your mental state and your brain is, if you can manage that, then everything else takes care of itself. So if you start learning about how your brain works differently from other people, maybe that is where you get a lot of the control back. Because if you can kind of just know, um, for example, I'll go through this, dominance, so don't worry about it. We'll go through all of this, and you can ask questions too as we go. But I just want to share a little bit more context about more tough times that I can have, other people can have. So yes, other tough times. Let's talk about that. So during this time when I was going through my first bout of depression, first of many, uh, almost 20 years ago now, 16, 17 years old, I was in high school. I happened to also have a crisis of faith. where I was questioning my faith. And I don't want to go into religion today, but I think that is also something that a lot of us struggle with. We are born in a certain faith, and over time, maybe we don't believe in it exactly as we did before, or how our parents are expect us to, or our community, and that can also be a thing, you know. So my whole journey lasted like about 2 years, and that was also a very incredibly difficult time, because you're going from believing in something and then deconstructing your entire self and constructing yourself up again, uh, in as this new person that is maybe very much changed. So that's also a very tough time in my life, and I'm sure that's same for a lot of you. Other tough times that you can go through are if you lose a parent. You know, I think that's something that we all are going to go through for sure in our lives, unless we go first, which is unlikely to happen. Usually there's a good, 30 years between us and our parents, 20, 30 years. There's also, going through breakups. If you were in love with someone and then you lost them or something, or they are not with you anymore, that's a big one that we are all also probably going to go through. God forbid if you lose your kids, that has to be a really difficult one. If some accident happens in your life and your life is completely different now, let's say you become paralyzed from the neck down or something like that, in a freak driving accident. Now only your head works, everything else is not functioning, you're completely dependent on other people. How do you live life then? There's still people doing that. So there's so many things. And I think the biggest thing, let's now talk about how to actually manage this, because we know these things are gonna some of these things are gonna hit us. um, I feel like the one thing that I try to do every day that keeps me feeling better about these things is just every day spend a little bit of time feeling grateful for what I already have. So I'll just be like, damn, it's great that I can pick up this water and drink it. It's really clean and it gives me what I need. I can get it for free. That's really cool. It's something that none of us talk about, but why not spend a second to be like, wow, I'm lucky. You talked about so many people in India that don't have anything to eat. So that's, I mean, forget depression. They don't have time to think about that. They need to
Yeah.
eat, right? I have food always available here, and I don't even need to think about it. I didn't need to stress about it. Wow, how lucky am I? I happen to have 2 feet that are functioning still, and I can walk. If I didn't have them, if I was paralyzed, my feet, I would be happy for having hands. You know, that is something that keeps you grounded and makes you go, okay, life's okay. you know so feeling grateful, and reminding yourself to be grateful about these things, the people that you have in your life, your parents or your partner or your siblings, friends, can be very important. Ultimately, when it comes to depression, this is what worked for me. um, for a very long time, I thought that my depression could be fixed by me changing my behavior. I can just will myself out of bed and do the things like everyone else, and it didn't work. I tried that for many times. I burnt out. It didn't work. It made it worse. So after a certain point, I had to accept that there is something wrong with me. Not in a like I'm not good enough way, but there is something in my brain that's very different from other people. And now I want to talk to everyone here. All of our brains are quite different from each other. It's mostly the same, but in some ways it can be quite different. So again, I'm not a. Oh, can you put me back to yeah? Um, so I'm not an expert here, right? So I'm not an expert psychologist or something like that. But I think we all know at this point that there are mental illnesses that exist. There is also a neurodivergencies, like you might have ADHD or be on the autistic spectrum or have dyslexia or all of these things. So you might have some of these or none of these or all of them or whatever. But whatever it is, if you do have them, your brain is functioning quite differently. Let me give you an example. A lot of people can manage their energy quite well. They go out and they go to a party, have one drink, and that's it. And they come back and they had a good time. Some people go there and they drink, 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 5 drinks, 10 drinks, 15 drinks, and then blackout drunk, and then they need to be taken home by their friends. No one wants to do that, but it's harder for that person to prevent that from happening, versus other people for whom that might be easy. It's the same thing with all of us in different ways. So you have to identify, how is your brain different from other people, and maybe you need some help in managing it. And yes, in some ways you can manage it by doing exercise, and all that is something that we all should do all the time, obviously. And there are some other ways, and in some ways there are medications you can take that actually makes it better. And in my case, that is what ultimately helped me the most, is finding medication for me. I won't go into my specific diagnosis here, but I have a kind of a serious one. And but I found the medication; it worked very well for me. And then over time, you kind of experiment with it to see what works over time. And now I'm glad to say that I'm very stable for quite some time. And but it's been a very long journey. So what happens to people like me is that we go up and you stay there for a while and then you crash. And when you crash, it's not like a crash that you have to take 2 days off and you're good, but it's like you cannot function for 3 months straight. You're not picking up calls, you're not going to work, or you're not able to do work. And the reason that life becomes hard to live then is that you can't gain any momentum if you're just going up and down, crashing and going up like this. Because whatever you're doing, you lose all the momentum by crashing for 2 months. And for me, the crashes weren't 2 months, it's like more like 9 months or something like that. So that is the reason why I feel like I kind of missed a huge chunk of my life just battling that thing. So for me, the medication was the thing that helped me the most. And then over time, now I use certain systems to keep myself on track. And we can talk about that too. We have about like 10 minutes to go, 10, 15 minutes, I guess. But anything you want to jump in here with, Div? Do you have any friends that struggle with this stuff? Or,
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I've seen a lot of friends because right now I'm in a situation where most of the people get into relationships,
mm,
college relationships,
hmm,
and I've seen people getting into relationships, and after that, because it doesn't worked out, they went into a great depression
yeah,
because like they thought that this will be my partner for life, and now that partner has cheated on him or her,
hmm,
or like her partner, his partner is not at all responding to him. So I have seen these things happening normally, and these things are like normal in my age, in the
yeah,
place where I am. So most people don't know how to deal with it. But like, let's say if my friend, recently one of my friends was experiencing this,
hmm,
and I knew that I have to help him. So like I went in, like brought some like shakes, milkshakes, and I like he was in a terrace, and I went to him, and then I made him drink that milkshake, chocolate milkshake, so that yeah, like his mind gets some dopamine by drinking some sugar,
mm,
and then it relaxed him when I said that, please talk to me about whatever happened to you, so that it will go out of his body. One
yeah,
of the other things that I realized was like making a journal and writing all the things down. When I was in a great depression, I used to write all the things in a simple note. Simple note, if you guys don't know about it, it's an app where you can just write different things out, and I got to know about it through Rafid. So like whenever I have faced a lot of different like times like these. So whenever it happens, I usually write everything down in that
mm,
particular simple note app. That's one of the best ways to like deal with these things and letting it out of your body. So like these are some of the things that people in my age experience that are like
mm.
related to their love life. So most
Yeah,
of it didn't end up being successful, but
yeah,
like few end up being successful.
yeah.
That's what is the ratio.
Yes, I'll tell you something that really helps me when it comes to this kind of stuff. So whether it's losing your partner that you love very, very much, or them cheating on you, or losing your parents, anything like this, which is a huge thing, right? I tell myself, not every day, but every week, I tell myself, you know what? That might happen. That might happen. What are you going to do then? Are you going to be completely destroyed? For a little bit, yeah. Are you going to be okay after that? Yeah, you are. Come on. You are you obviously are okay. Every time. You get through it. So you can never be in a place where you try to say that it's never going to happen. So my dad just said hello on YouTube. I'll talk about my parents actually, because coming to terms with your parents' mortality is something that we all have to do. But for most of us, our parents' death hits us on that phone call that someone calls us, hey, your dad's in the hospital and he has had a massive heart attack. You have to come right now. If that's the first time you go and you think about that, you go, oh my gosh, oh, and everything, like you can't even like your body is just like this, and you have to just get there. But you knew that there's a very high probability that something like that will happen. We all know this. That's how it always happens. It's always a surprise. It's never like, sometimes it's like we knew that's going to happen for 10 years, but most of the time it's not. So tell yourself that there's going to be a time when you're going to get a phone call about this. What are you going to do then? Prepare for it. And when you have prepared yourself for it, when it does come, you go, okay, I know I've thought about this a million times before. This is am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to call these people. Am I supposed to book the plane ticket if I'm not there? I need to do this, this, this. I need to make sure that person is okay. I need to do this. I need to do that. I need to write this down. I need to send this. I need to do this research. And then, you see, so this is how you can be in it when it inevitably happens versus, oh my God, total surprise. Now I'm in an emergency case that someone else has to take care of. I just I just got the news about this and now someone has to take care of me. Don't be that like that. And it's the same way of also losing a partner, for example. Um, they did something or you did something, something happened, it's not happening anymore. You have to tell yourself, if that
I
happened, you're
mean,
not,
it's really hard if you think like, let's say, if I'm getting into a relationship,
yeah,
and I know that I love this person, but why should I even think about being prepared if she leaves from my life?
yeah,
Like, like that's just the question of like us being together. What do you think about that? Like, oh, it's okay. Like, I should be prepared of getting a phone call of
mm,
like a death of my father or
yeah,
anyone close to me. But
hmm,
what about this? Like, what about my partner? Why should I even think about this?
yeah,
That what happens if we are not
yeah.
together anymore?
Well,
It's just a question of purity of love.
yeah. Now,
I'm getting too much into it, but yeah, I
this
just have a question for you.
yeah, it's a great question. Why even think about it when like you're in love, and why isn't
Yeah,
it all gonna work out? Well, if you look at the statistics, I mean, majority of relationships end, and a lot of the relationships that do continue as well are not that great. So, I mean, it's a thing that statistically is very likely to happen to you, even though you don't feel like it. And I think it's just something that you don't have to talk about it in such a way where they go, if and if you're younger, this is harder to do because you haven't experienced these things that much. It's a first time, so the first time is often very like very kind of passionate and vivid. So it's hard to kind of get off of that. But I think it's just telling yourself something like, I really love this person and I hope we're going to be together forever. But in the case if it doesn't work out, am I going to be okay? What are you going to do? Are you going to take some time off and talk to some people you know and like listen to really sad songs and cry and eat bad food and gain some weight and all that stuff? Yeah, probably like everyone else does. Are you going to be okay after that? I hope so. I don't even want to think about it right now because it's so hard. Okay, think about it later. Think about it in another week. Think about it now. Okay, 1 week goes. Is it better? I can think about it for more seconds now because I feel. You see, it's like thinking about. It's like talking about a prenup or something like that before getting married, where like I have this much money, you have this much. How are we going to divide it if this doesn't work out?
I
You,
mean, that's one of the toughest things to
yeah,
do before marriage, signing the contract that, let's say, if we're gonna get a divorce, you're
yeah,
not gonna take my money.
yeah. But the thing is that people might think that even talking about a prenup means that you shouldn't even be in that relationship because you shouldn't feel like that. But it turns out that people that do sign some sort of prenup, and all a prenup means is that you figure out before getting married and before the eventual divorce, if that happens, this is how you're going to divide it. So it might still be that you do it 50-50, but you just write it down in contract. The people that actually break up after signing a prenup is way lower than people don't even think about it. Like, it's going to be all okay. Way lower, like not even a comparison.
Do you think, Rafat, you're gonna sign a prenup?
Um, I don't know yet, but I'm thinking about it. That's certainly something that I want to talk about and be very open about. But I think it's not about the prenup itself. I think it's about two very mature people talking about very likely eventualities about this big thing and not
Yeah.
being very emotional, being like, "Oh my god, I'm never gonna," because we know you will learn later when you're past your 20s that there's always these patterns in love where you feel a very strong thing in the beginning and then it goes down a bit and then so
I
you learn
mean,
about it.
one of the things I realized that initially you are loving even when they are coughing or when they like the minor of things, but
Yeah,
after you've spent 10 to 15 years with that person, you know that that this is the way that she
yeah,
behaves,
mm,
and the things are not like that anymore.
yeah,
So that's the phases of being
mm,
in a relationship. I think
yeah,
that's I'm not that experienced like you, but
yeah.
little bit about it I
But
know.
let's talk a little bit about, for the last maybe 15 minutes before we end this thing, talk about specific frameworks for how to manage difficult things that are happening honestly every day of our lives. So I'll give some of my own tips, and then if you also want to share, Dev. Okay, so the first tip for managing tough times is you have to have a good support network around you, meaning you have to have people in your life that you can call or text immediately, and they will get back to you pretty fast. And you can be like, hey, I'm going through something. I need someone to talk to. Are you available? And they need to say yes, and you can do that. Most people in this world have zero people like that. You need to have at least three, four, maybe. And that is maybe the biggest thing because in your brain, something is 1,000, but really it's more like two. So you need another person to go, hey, man, like, you come to me a lot and they go, oh my God, what? And then I go, hey, come on, it's not that bad, is it? Oh, yeah, it's
Yeah.
really not that
Yes.
bad. So within a minute, you're like, yeah, you know what? Wait, it's happened to you like 5 times already? Yeah, it's happened to me. Yeah. Okay, I guess it's not. He's okay, so I guess I'll be okay. You see how powerful that is?
Yeah.
Because we need to connect, because in our brains we live in this time where everything is like brain based, like you're putting in ideas there through videos and tweets and whatever, and then you're like, oh my gosh, that person is 10 times higher than me and he's 1 year younger than me. Wow. And then you go to this and that and this, oh my god, I'm so worthless. Just, you need to text someone and go like, hey man, you're doing great. Like, what do you even word? Yeah. Oh yeah, okay, all right, it's good. But in the absence of that, there are people that don't have that for months and years and decades. Imagine what's happening. They've constructed a reality in their brain that is completely different from the actual reality. We need fellow humans to ground ourselves and be like, hey, man, it's going to be okay. It's always been okay. You're such a great person. It's
I
all good.
mean, right now with the things with the online platform, most people are not connecting with persons offline. I mean, it's a good way to connect and meet people. I also met you online, but like it's really important for people to have these kind of people in their life, and most people don't have it. So
Yeah. Most people don't have it, or sometimes we talk to maybe the wrong people. Um,
yeah, that's
um,
first.
A
Yeah.
lot of us will go to our parents for this kind of talk, and that's not always a good idea. And it doesn't even mean that your parents are doing anything wrong. But if you are telling your mother, for example, that, oh my God, I'm really struggling at this university degree, I don't even know if I'm going to graduate or not. Her listening to that, go, oh my gosh, this is an emergency because this person is directly, it's my personal business because this is my kid.
Yeah.
And what you really mean is not really that. It's not that big. You just said it in that way because you're going through something right now, you know?
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
So there needs to be someone that's more kind of in line, like where you are in life. So, like maybe same age, 5 years plus minus, whatever, 10 years, because it can, there can be a generational gap as well. And a lot of times parents have a tendency to say that, oh, you're so great. You can handle this all by yourself. You don't need anyone. And the reality is that you do need people, actually. You need other people, and you need to go to them with your problems, not because you're weak, but because that's the only way that you can kind of figure stuff out about yourself. When someone else says, hey, it's not such a big deal. I also go through this. Oh, really? It made it so much easier. So that's one big thing. Include other people in your life. And this takes time because you got to connect with them over time to form that deep connection. This isn't just going to happen with a person you met yesterday. So that's one big thing. The other one is that you need to have some sort of a understanding of what is a successful enough day for you to keep moving your life forward in the way that you want. Doesn't mean working 10 hours a day every day. That's a really bad idea. But it does mean 8 hours of sleep every night, plus minus 1 hour, plus minus 2 hours sometimes. Okay. It does mean 3 to 4 meals every single day at approximately these times. It does mean going out every day for a walk, going to the gym, or doing push-ups or whatever it is, writing for this amount of time about something that you care about, drawing if you care about that, doing something for yourself in the beginning part of the day, and then doing other things. Whatever that is for you, you have to figure out that and then do that. And when you've done that, say, okay, this was a good day. I wasn't able to work more than 2 hours, but it was still a good day. It's okay. In the absence of that system, you can just, based on the circumstance, you can just be like, oh, I guess I'll do this now. And then a person brings you along to something, and 10 hours go by and you go, whoa, what happened today? You have to have some sort of idea about where you're moving, and in order to the basic building blocks for that. I'm kind of a hopeless person, so I often forget to do the things I have to do. For example, going outside every single day, I get so focused on my work, I forget those things. And for the longest time, I was like, I need to know this myself. I need to set up a app or whatever. It didn't work. So now I have a person, my assistant, that actually reminds me to do that if I haven't done it already. And I have to take a picture from outside so she knows that I've been outside. I have to take a picture from the gym. She knows I know I've been at the gym. She sends me a message to do push-ups. I do a certain amount of push-ups. I send her the number of push-ups I did. So I need to have a person for this. Not everyone needs that. But this way, I'm the type of person who, if I'm in a depression or something, I cannot go out for 2 weeks. Literally, like, not go out. And I just couldn't afford those type of things happening because you lose the momentum so much and your brain just loses that too. So if you can involve other people in this, even better. Even better. If you can have, like, hey friend, can you meet me at this traffic stop at 8 o'clock every morning, and I come to you and I shake your hand or give you a high five, and then that's kind of ticked off for the day. At least I know I've gone out and done that. Can you do that for me? You find a friend who also needs that. Yeah, sure, I'll do that. Now suddenly, you not doing it is not as easy as you just not doing it because you were busy. You not doing it means telling that other person that we're not going to do it. This adds social pressure, and you go, no, you know what? I'm okay. Even though I have a headache, I'll do it anyway. It's not that bad, you know. And if you can't do it, you have to explain yourself to another person. It's not like oh, I just don't want to do it. Brain goes, okay, it's fine. Just scroll Instagram. Okay, good. No, now another person is involved, you know? So these are some little kind of systems I use for myself to keep myself on track every day. And that's honestly the biggest thing, is the every day matters. It's not the one special day that makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything you want to share, Dev?
No, I think mostly things you have covered. I also tried creating an app in which I say that when you wake up, brush your teeth, and then proceed with all the things that you want to do.
Mm,
Uh, but overall, I think most of it you only covered it. And I also take some learnings, whatever you have said today. But I think we are about 1 hour through in
yeah.
this podcast. So
Yeah.
maybe we can go for 2-3 minutes more, and then we
Yeah.
can.
I'll just do like a couple of more things. I'm thinking I'll be pretty fast about it. One other thing that has helped me a lot, and I've been doing this for 4 years now, since 2021, is writing things down. This is the most life changing thing I have done ever in my life, and it hasn't cost me anything. Completely free. Writing things down. And you're going, what? I'll explain to you what it is. You're walking around and you're a programmer and you go, oh, wait, I can use that API model instead of that one. I think that'll be better because you see, doesn't that happen to you, Div?
Of course, it
Like you're just
happens.
walking around like, well, yeah. You don't have to be a programmer. This happens to all of us. What I used to do is just be like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah. And then if I'm alone, I'm alone. But if someone's there and I'm supposed to be with them, do you think I'm present with them? No, I'm like
No,
this. And then I would pretend to be present while still thinking about that thing. And that didn't really work because they would always find out, are you listening to me? This is a big thing between men and women too. Are you really listening to me? And what you're doing is actually, solving an equation in your brain for your exam coming up. So then I thought, you know what? I got this supercomputer in my pocket. Why don't I use that? So I go, hey, give me 30 seconds, okay? Use that thing, and then that, and that database should named be that model, and blah, 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 blah. Done. Okay, what were you saying? You see, in your brain, for whatever reason, that thing came in, and you can't even explain why that came in. But your brain can. But don't try to explain it. Just be like, okay, I'm going to capture it, and then I can capture it in a thing that will exist forever on my phone, and then take it away. That has given me so much mental peace. I can't even tell you. And at this point in my notes app, I've used the same notes app all these years. I'm up to 13,974 notes. So almost 14,000 moments in my life where I would have just kept it in my brain and not done anything about it is now saved in here. Try it yourself. Start writing things down, anything, things that you don't want to forget, something that you want to text your message, your friend, but not do it right now, something that you have to remind yourself to do later on. Whatever it is, write it down. I can. You've also started doing that, right, Dev? Since I
so,
like your
my number is around 1032.
there you
So
go.
I
But
think,
yeah,
yeah.
but doesn't it like help?
Yeah, it truly helps. It always helped me because whenever I was in a bad situation or I had some great ideas, some million-dollar ideas, I just used to open the simple
Yeah,
notes app and write it down. That really helped me and made me a better person, I'll say.
it's also made you a millionaire now, right?
No,
The million
not
dollar
yet.
ideas haven't made you a
Not
millionaire.
yet.
Oh shit!
Not yet.
Uh,
Not, yeah.
sorry.
But these were my thoughts, and
Yeah,
this idea everyone wants because I have
mm,
written it and I thought that it was a problem, but it
yeah.
didn't work out yet. But
Mm,
soon maybe
of course.
it will work out.
I was just kidding with you. Obviously, I'm not a millionaire either. The Yeah, so that's one big one. Writing things down, and another one is that a lot of times we are very worked up after talking to our parents or talking to our siblings or friends or something. They said something that struck a nerve. You've been working for so long, but you haven't made that much money. That can really sting you if you're an entrepreneur. Like, yeah, I guess he's right. Blah, 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 So A lot of times this happens, and then 2 hours go by and we're still feeling really bad and our day is shot because of it. Hasn't that happened to you, Div?
It
Yeah.
has happened
So
multiple of
we
times.
need a management system for all of these things that are inevitably going to come up, whether our partner says it, or parents, or kids, or whatever. Boss maybe. Here's what I do. I start feeling something inside me. Okay, I'm feeling something. I can't explain why, but someone said something and I'm feeling something. And then I start, like, my brain starts going, okay, this. And after a while, I go, okay, I think I know that it's this thing. Then I write it down. In my notes app, I go, this is this. I was talking to this person and they talked about this, and my feelings related to this is this. Then I will either take it up with my therapist, which I meet her every 2 weeks, or I'll talk to ChatGPT as well. That's actually been pretty good at these type of things, or I'll just do it myself, and I'll just write it down. And when you write the thing down and you get that distance, you go, this is now on paper digitally most of the time, and I can read it. It's not in here, because in here it feels like, oh my God, I can't, like, this is me, but I can't separate from it. What now you can read it? Oh, it's just that. So you immediately get that distance from it. So rather than having to talk to that person right away in my anger, I calm down. I go, okay, they said this. They probably didn't mean it like this, blah, 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 blah. Then later, if I do still am affected by it, I will tell that person, hey, the way that you said that to me the other day, it really didn't make me feel very good. It made me feel these things. I'm not saying that you did anything bad. I just said you said something, words coming out of your mouth. It made me feel like this because I'm human. Then they go, oh, really? I didn't mean it like that because I'm blah, 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 blah. I'm so sorry that I made you feel. Okay, thank you. This is if they're a good, decent human being. If not, they might take it personally and make you feel even worse. Maybe you don't want to do it with everyone. But this allows you to manage your emotional state in a predictable way every day, because this is what gets most people. The people that are like in high level meetings every day, and if you want to become one of those people, and you're probably, like, if you're listening, you're probably in that group. um, Even if you're not in that group, doesn't matter. You can't make a 15-minute conversation with your mom when she says something make you feel so horrible that the whole day you're not able to do anything else but think about that thing. You just can't do that because you have other things to do. So you have to have a way to get that thing out, and then keep on with your day. And this is the only way where people are able to, like, constant and context switch all the time, like go from this thing to that thing to this thing to that thing, this thing to that thing. These people are complaining to me about this thing that's not working in my company, but I get that. I'm not going to take it personally. In all companies, nothing works out. It's not because you're horrible. No, it's okay. You'll get back to that. Now I'm talking to my partner about something else. I can't let those things get in and poison my brain and have her deal with that. Wait, are you feeling okay? Yeah, I'm okay. No, you don't sound okay. No, no, it's okay. It's okay. What were you going to say? No, are you really okay? What are you thinking about? Is this something I did? No, 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 no. You see, Div,
Yeah,
we were taking out our own things on to other people because we're having
because
dealt with.
that's what that was also present in our brain. So when
Yeah,
we are in a fight situation, that just comes out
yeah.
in one way
So
or another.
yeah, so I think I'll end there. Those, I hope this was kind of all over the place, but maybe we'll do some video magic and
Yeah,
get.
yeah. I mean, it was a great conversation. I think
Mm,
most people might get some insights on this.
I hope so.
Uh, and then I would say thanks everyone for joining for today's podcast. If you wanna, and thanks Rafet for sharing your insights
You too.
for today's podcast. Yeah, thank you.
Mm,
And we would love to hear from you guys. Rafet, can you just put the link of
absolutely. Hmm.
rafidhoda.com/ask. That's the website. If
There
you
you go.
guys want to ask your questions and want us to address that, we can definitely take those questions in our next podcast.
Hmm.
Right now, the frequency of our podcast is just one, but maybe in the future we'll have two in a week. So that's pretty much it from my side.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, everyone, for watching this live or watching the recording. There, we are working on putting out like a shorter version of this podcast so that it's easier to um, watch it or listen to it, and you don't have all of the stuff, the stuff in between that you're like what I'm doing right now, basically. Yeah, and then also little clips of this will pop up on Instagram and YouTube and other places. So yes, thank you so much for joining on this Monday evening, and yes, until next time, have a good week.